So we went to their open house, and as soon as we walked in the door, we just had this feeling that of kind of like coming home.
Hi, it's Brian Master once again for Our Kids Media, and a special guest today is the parent of a child who's attending Blythe Academy. Please welcome Diane Hillier. How are you, Diane?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Now, you have a daughter attending Blythe Academy,
Yes,
and is she still at the school?
she is. She's entering grade 11 in September.
Oh, good. What does she like about the school so far?
You know what? Pretty much everything. She's gone through a very challenging school time. She suffers from some mental health issues, and starting in grade 5, she had a lot of challenges in school. She ended up not spending the last 4 months of grade 8 at home. She had a lot of difficulties in grade 9. So then the first term of grade 10, we finally found Blythe, and for the first time since forever, she's actually happy. She came home, it was over the Christmas holidays, and she said, "Mom, I have friends, I'm happy." So as a parent, that meant more to me than anything else. I've always said, grades don't matter, anything else. It's the mental health and your child's happiness and well-being. And even through this whole crazy pandemic and everything, she used to always say to me, "Mom, can I just please be homeschooled? I hate school, please, Mom." I gave her the option, which Blythe has offered to us. They can either go in class, they can work online, they can kind of do a bit of both. And she said, "Mom, I want to go back to school," which to me speaks more than any other thing that you can say. For a child who hated school and cried every day, she wants to go back.
Wow, isn't that great?
Yeah.
And
So,
what an environment it must be. Well, can you please, Diane, outline for me the process of choosing the Blythe Academy? For example, what drew you originally to the school, and what other schools had you considered?
well, we had, my daughter always had gone to the public school system. And as a teacher in the public school system, that was kind of my preference at first. It was not working for her. It's a great system, but it wasn't for her. She asked me if we could try something different. She wanted smaller class sizes. She wanted to find more support. She was having some social anxieties. So we were looking online, and I'd heard the Blythe commercials on TV. We don't live that far from Blythe Etobicoke, so we would drive by and we would see it. I went online, and I'm a believer kind of in signs. And when we were looking, 2 weeks after I started looking, Blythe was having an open house. So we went to their open house, and as soon as we walked in the door, we just had this feeling that of kind of like coming home. She walked in, and everyone was very welcoming and inviting. We met with the principal, who was fantastic. Some of the kids took her on a tour, and everything just seemed to click. So really, after that, we didn't even look any farther.
Oh, you didn't?
Nope.
Wow.
We just, after being in there, when we got back in the car, my daughter looked at me and she goes, "Mom, I think I want to go there. I really like it."
Oh,
And
isn't
that's
that
all that
great?
mattered to me.
Well, great answer. Thank you. So you already touched on this, but I'm going to ask it anyway, Diane. How has your daughter responded to being at the Blythe Academy, and how about more generally, like at home? And do you think that the school played a role in that?
School had always caused her a lot of anxieties, and every morning it was a big fight trying to get her to school. She would call me, at lunches, "Mommy, can I come home? I'm not happy. I don't like it." I wasn't getting that when she was at Blythe. So most mornings, I mean, she's a teenager. It's hard to get her out of bed because, teenagers like to sleep, but it wasn't because of school. And when she was there, she was happy. So it made it easier. When we were having our family dinners, which we do every night, we all go around and we just tell little stories about our day. And she never used to have anything positive to say. Once she started at Blythe, our family dinners were very different. She was telling us all sorts of stories about what they were doing in the class and her friends. And Blythe is very hands-on. It's not just sit at a desk, the teacher talks to you, you read the textbook, you come home and do your homework. And she really liked that. She liked the interaction. She liked the support. So things were very different. Instead of her going into her room and being alone, she was FaceTiming and talking to friends. And so she was just a more happy person all around.
It must have been thrilling for you to see this blooming, if you will, this growth.
Yeah, I can't tell you how, I used to cry myself to sleep upset, and then I was crying myself to sleep with happiness, just seeing her happy, like it was happy tears. So it was different just to see her coming out of her shell and finally being the person that I knew she was.
Fabulous. And what do you think she likes most about Blythe Academy if she had to pick one thing?
Probably the support she receives from friends and from staff. And she feels like a person. Before, she always felt that, people didn't like her, or that in a large high school, she just felt like she was wandering the halls. She's also very short. She barely gets to 5 feet. So she was walking through the halls in the schools, and there's, all these 6 feet tall, teenage boys, and she was barely 5 feet, and she just felt lost.
Oh.
So the numbers there are much smaller. They're supportive. Everybody knows everybody. The teachers all know them by, like, even the teachers who she hasn't been with still know who she was, and they talk to her and are supportive, and they know about her mental health, and they say, "Hey, staff, you having a good day today?" And so it was just the support, I think.
Excellent. And as a parent, Diane, what do you personally appreciate most about Blythe Academy?
Again, I think what I appreciate most is them helping my daughter reach her potential and be who she's supposed to be. I always knew that she was a very smart, happy, wonderful person. She never felt that. And Blythe has helped her realize that she is.
That's really something. You don't hear that much about public schools.
No. Again, being a public school teacher, that's hard for me to say. There are phenomenal teachers, but I think a lot of it goes down to the numbers. When you have hundreds and thousands of kids in a school, you can't know everybody.
No.
Where the small numbers, whether it's public school or whether it's private school, that's what makes the difference. When you have the numbers, you can make those connections. And I think that's what every person needs to feel like they belong somewhere, and that they're supported, and that they're known, that you're just not walking around a hall not feeling validated, that you're just there.
I remember my first day of high school, grade 9. I was pretty young going. I just turned 13 going into grade 9. And the school had a PA system. It was really a revelation then. And the principal welcomed everybody, and we're proud. He said, "We're proud to say there's 1,500 of you here this year." And I thought, 1,500.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's just an aside. So
yeah, no, but that's a very big part of it. When you just wander around feeling like nobody knows you or nobody cares, that's really hard for anybody, but especially if you have the mental health issues. But when you walk through the hall, and I don't know the exact numbers, but Blythe is just like the Etobicoke, just started up, and they have small numbers. I think they're under 100. So everybody knows everybody, whether you're in grade 9 or grade 12, and they're all supportive of each other. So there's that family feeling, a sense of belonging, which everybody needs.
great. Now, what have you found most surprising about the school now that you're a parent of a child there?
I think, again, it goes back that everybody is supportive and everybody knows everybody. I know how important it is to make those connections and feel that rapport. And I think having that, the size of the school, everybody is supportive of everyone. And the staff seem to go out of their way to make the kids feel important. They talk with them. They ask, I don't say personal questions, but about their life, what they like to do. If they, how was your dance class last night? Or, have you finished doing that art picture you were working on the other day? So they take the time to get to know not just the educational student, but the whole student. And I think that's very important.
Do you think that will rub off as the student gets older? Like
I'm sure it will.
People like that?
I hope it does. I mean, that's very important. So hopefully the students there realize how important the sense of belonging and treating others with respect. I think that's a very big thing. And they're all respected there. So hopefully they will then take that on to their lives and whatever they choose to do.
That's encouraging. And that is a very big thing, especially these days, isn't it? Respecting one another.
So.
Yeah. Okay, Diane, what would you say are Blythe Academy's values, its values in actual practice?
There's a lot of them. Again, they value respect and I think that's a big one, not just to each other as students, but teacher to students, and the environment and the world. They do a lot of environmental initiatives. They do a lot of volunteering, which I think is fantastic. They go and help out at the food banks.
Oh,
Yeah, Stephanie did um, a volunteer opportunity where they did go to the food bank. They help sort the food and get it all organized. So they get to see different things and realize how important it is to help others. I think that was a very important thing that they did.
okay. How about this? Can you describe for me the typical family that's at Blythe Academy, for example? What are their values?
It's hard. I have not met a lot of the other parents because it's high school. It's either they get there themselves or it's kind of drop and go. So it's not like when you're in kindergarten, you drop your kid off and the mom stand or dad stand around outside and talk to each other. So I don't know, but I would probably guess the parents all want what's best for the child. Blythe offers a lot of different things. There are students who go there because they need the extra support with mental health or with the academics. There are students who go there maybe because they're in a sports and they can't attend a regular high school or a public high school all the time. Blythe is able to give them some flexibility. There are great supports. So I think it's just, I would have to say parents who really want the best education and best whole education for their child.
Is there much of a community among the parents?
For me, I would have to say that not that I'm aware of, that I'm involved in. Again, high school is very different. There is a lot of communication between the teachers and myself, the principal and myself. So the communication is wonderful that way, whether it's through emails, whether it's through a phone call. They use the EDSB website, so information is put up for the children and for the parents. Each of the teachers every day put the homework on there, put reminders, put information, and the parents have access to that. So I see every day what my child is assigned for homework. So I can look at her and say, okay, I see you're supposed to be doing this for history. Have you done it? And she's like, but we're aware of everything that's happening in the school. The principal does send regular emails and updates out. So there is a lot of parent involvement, but as far as I know, not parent involvement with each other, but a lot of parent involvement with the school.
Excellent. Is there anything that your daughter has done yet at the school you're particularly proud of, something specific, or maybe in general?
I would have to say her marks.
Oh,
She was really struggling. I knew she was a very smart child. Her teachers had always told me that, but due to her mental health issues, she'd missed a lot of school. She was pulling off, just passing, but that's because of attendance. Because now she's happy, she's going to school. Her average is about 92 right now.
whoa.
So yeah, she's a smart kid, but again, that goes back to her feeling happy and belonging. And now she's feeling smart, which I always kept telling her. And she's always like, Mom, you have to say that. And then, no, you're a smart kid. And she never believed it. And now finally she's believing it.
Excellent. Well, it must be thrilling for you to see that progress in your daughter.
As I said, that's the most important thing as a parent, that your child is happy.
How about a thumbnail sketch of some of the school's strengths and maybe the weaknesses that you found?
Again, I would say the strength is the support that they give to the students. Whether it's academically, socially, emotionally. My daughter did have some issues, and the guidance counselor there's two of them. They have both been great. One of them she's dealt with more, obviously I kind of assigned them, and has been incredible. She has phoned her numerous times, and even after the little issue she had, she called her a couple of times to say, how's it going? When we had the pandemic lockdown, Blythe stepped up and was incredible. Right away, they started live classes. The students logged in. Classes continued almost as if they were in school. It was hard on the students as well as all of us. It was a really hard time. The guidance counselor called my daughter on a semi-regular basis just to check in and see how she's doing. There were a few days when my daughter was having, some rough times with these things. Blythe was very supportive. They called, made sure you're okay. They sent me emails, how is she doing? So the support that they give to their students and parents is incredible.
Any weaknesses?
Right now, honestly, I can't think of one.
Okay, excellent.
Everything I have to say right now is extremely positive. I couldn't be happier.
If you can take a moment and imagine that you're sitting on Zoom here talking to the parents of a prospective student of Blythe Academy, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to go for a visit, to look at the school, to talk to staff, to talk to others. Have you heard their child talk to the other students? But again, I have nothing but positive things to say. Location is, I guess, for some people, an issue. Like this location is located right off the subway line, so it's easy to get to. I know that my daughter has friends that go to this location from all over Toronto. Some live in the beaches, some are in northern Toronto, but because it's right on the subway system, it's easy to get to. I would just say do a little bit of research and then register your child as quickly as you can, because it has made a world of difference to my child.
What a great way to wrap up our chat today. And I sure appreciate it, Diane. And to see the joy in your face when you talk about your daughter's challenges and how she's overcoming them and is finding herself. That's a pretty great thing to hear.
Well, as a parent, that's what you want for your child. You want them to be happy, to feel success, and to enjoy living and life. And she's happy. She loves going there. She enjoys everything. Well, as much as a high school student can enjoy school, she really, really enjoys it. And as I spoke to the principal the other day, it's been years since she's been happy. And she told me, Mom, I want to go back to school. And that says everything.